So Magic got buffed today, and it is back. It is so back. Magic is so freaking good right now. It is in a great place. We have more buffs coming from a mascot, so I wanted to give you my first impressions on the buffs and my experience in the 8 hours that I practiced with Magic today. I had a lot of rust to shake off. I started with a stream. I kind of rage quit the stream, I'll be honest. For you guys that were there, you know, it was not great. I tried out a few bosses. I was trying too much. I think I was overwhelming myself with all the changes, not really thinking it through. So I ended the stream, jumped into just doing regular kills at bosses that I was used to, and I was massively impressed. I learned a lot today after ending the stream and actually focusing, and I want to share that in the first impressions video with you guys, so hopefully you find this useful. Let's talk about the buffs to Magic, shall we? So before we get into how the experience at each boss was, I want to talk about a few things that you definitely need to know about. One, camping the staff is pretty much where you're going to be at now. The dual wield tier 95s, still really good. Soulfire spec is still insanely strong, and you are going to be using them pretty much as a spec weapon. You may end up juggling them for like optimal performance later on, but as of right now, it seems to be that just camp the staff because you're going to get way more damage from the crit damage. Use the tier 95 dual wields as a spec weapon too. Now, basically the buffs that we got was the Staff of Armadyl got a 15% to 30% damage increase on your critical hits, which is why you're going to be camping it over the dual wields. As for the other buffs, the Elite Tectonic Robe sets gives you a flat 6% crit chance increase, which is huge and very, very noticeable. You're going to be getting a hell of a lot of crits. Other thing to mention is throughout the video, you're going to notice I'll be using an Armadyl Battle Staff in a lot of places. It's good. Armadyl Battle Staff works really well again. The extra crit chance makes it good, and the damage, it is insane. When you pop off, you pop off. But the Iban Staff is better. I spent a good portion of the initial day using the Armadyl Battle Staff, and I kind of regret it because towards the end of the night, I noticed that, yeah, the Iban Staff is just better. It hits way harder. It is more consistent. And yeah, it's crazy. It's just good. So that'll be like my go-to spec now, if you are wondering. I'm also using the Temporal Anomaly ability, and while I still hate the spell so freaking much, it's important to use, and it can make a world of difference. Throwing out back-to-back wild magics, back-to-back omni powers, the damage is insane. Getting back-to-back tendrils, for example, is even more crazy. So worth knowing those sort of things. Another important part of this, at least I believe so, is swapping between Insight Fear for when you're setting up your staff rotation, and also using Exsanguinate when you are swapping to your DPS. So like as soon as you use Tsunami, you kind of want to swap over to Exsanguinate. It makes a world of difference because Greater Concentrated Blast is such a core part of your DPS rotation that it makes a big difference. So if you can do that, then great. If you don't want to, then it is what it is, just camp Insight Fear. But I figured it was worth mentioning that if you do swap, you probably will see a decent increase to your damage. Now, the actual rotation, something to talk about before we get to the bosses too, is more or less the same everywhere. There's going to be some switching it up depending where you are, depending on Temporal Anomaly resets as well. But overall, the basic gist of a Staff of Armadyl rotation you're going to use is Sunshine, Tsunami and Staff Spec, Great Concentrated Blast with a Wild Magic and a Fix, and you use those whenever you can, and then Omni Power and then Great Concentrated Blast. Tendrils when you're low on adrenaline, but also Tendrils is crazy good damage anyway, so just Tendrils at some point after getting the other stuff off. And then you're going to be using like your EOF specs. So if you have an Armadyl Battle Staff but not an Iban Staff, then do use it. It is good. Great Concentrated Blast, Armadyl Battle Staff. But Iban Staff is better. You're going to see me, like I say, using Armadyl Battle Staff a lot more in the video. Trust me, I learned this too late towards the end of the night. Iban Staff is definitely better. It does so much freaking damage. So basically, Wild Magic, Asphyx, Omni, then Tendrils. Wild Magic again whenever it's ready, and the same with like your Omni and stuff if you get it again with like Temporal Anomaly and that. And then just focus on like your EOS specs and Great Concentrated Blast as much as you can, which is why Exsanguinate is really good for increasing that damage because of the basic sort of like the buff that you get from it. And then of course back to Insight Fear whenever you're due to put up your Sunshine and your Tsunami and Staff Spec again later on in the fight. Just a very quick interruption to remind you guys to click the sub button. A lot of you guys that watch all the videos aren't subbed, and it is the best way to help the channel. It really is. So please do, and I appreciate it for everybody that does. All right, let's get back to the video. So the place that I went to after rage quitting stream and spent the longest at tonight was Raksha. Raksha is, like I say, I spent a long time here, but the reason being is I could learn a lot here because I've done a lot of Raksha. I'm comfortable with the boss, I know my timings, and I wanted to make sure I got a personal record here, which I did. So that's kind of cool. But Magic was really weird here before the update. So what you would do in the past, or what I would do, is pretty much get into phase 2, then you would drop your Sunshine, Tsunami, and Stat Spec and just pray to God that you could skip. It was not that consistent either, at least it wasn't for me, and it was a bit of a nightmare, and I just used Necromancy here instead because that was consistent every single time. However, now with Magic, you can consistently skip pools, and it's way easier, way faster, crazy. Basically, what I do now is I will start off the fight with a little bit of setting up using my Soulfire from my dual wields, using a few extra light basics and stuff, getting some Exsanguinate stacks before I swap to Insight Fear, and then I will drop Sunshine, Tsunami, and Stat Spec to get myself into phase 2. Like, it will do the last like 50k of damage. Then what you're going to want to do from there is your regular rotation that we talked about. So you'll drop all your like wild magic as fixed for a couple of hits, your omni power, your tendrils and stuff. And by the end of this, after you've done like a couple of greater concentrated blasts and like Ivan staff hits, you're phased. It's done. You skip phase 2, you skip phase 3, you're straight into the final phase. It is actually crazy. It is so fast as well. I was phasing like on the minute mark or just below the minute mark, and I'm sure you guys can do a lot better, but for me, this is crazy good. And yeah, I'm impressed with this. It was super fast. But it is really good as well because on the last phase, now you can drop a Soulfire when you get in there, and then you can just immediately build back up to Sunshine and Stat Spec again with Tsunami. You have Adrenaline Potion, of course, but you can just get the Tsunami down, get some crits, get the Stat Spec up, and blow up the last phase too. It is insane. The damage you get here is nuts, and I expect that I will get another couple of PRs at some point once I practice a bit more, get a bit more sleep and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. It performed really well. I'm impressed at Raksha. The next place I wanted to try was to see if I could get a solid skip at Seiryu. Magic was rough, man. Like, for me, what I would do is with Magic is basically pre-Tsunami and Stat Spec before going up, kill the first sort of pillar, and then you would have to like get the second one dead too, drop Sunshine, let the blobs come through, heal it up, and then blow up the last one before the heals could come through again. And this wasn't like a full clean skip. I now wanted to see if you could get a full clean skip, and yeah, you absolutely can. I got this on my first attempt here. It was insane. You just melt the crystals on Seiryu now. And I was using the Armored Battle Staff, not the Ivan Staff, so I'm gonna go back tomorrow, give it another go, and yeah, I don't assume this will be any issues whatsoever. Basically, you're just going to get up on the back of Seiryu just as normal. Make sure you use your Calgarian Demon to like have the 60 seconds of buff, and then immediately Smoke Cloud and use your Vulnerability Bomb on the pillar. Surge forward, Sunshine, and the great thing is here, the staff range will allow you to be in your Sunshine from the start crystal all the way to the end. You can hit the final crystal while still in your Sunshine because of the actual range that you get, which is crazy good. So what you're going to do is just throw out as much damage as you can with your regular rotation, Sunshine, Tsunami, Stat Spec, and then just blow up the crystals. But one thing I did notice here is it's actually good to use your wild magic on like the first one, and then like your omni power on the second one, and then like your tendrils on the third one, or the other way around. Like, you know, like save some of your high damaging hits for each pillar, because you don't want to throw an omni power when the pillar's got like 20k health left, because it's going to do way more damage than that. So this rotation may differ from like Raksha or any other boss, but you kind of just have to keep in mind that like don't waste your high hitting abilities for a low amount of damage. But yeah, skipping Seiryu, the crystals, before the first heal comes through, super easy. It's going to be consistent as hell. Magic's crazy here. It's really good. I'm going to be doing a lot more ED1 now, probably. I mean, I do enough already, but it's just fun. I want to do more. Now, Kerapac's a little bit interesting. Magic is good here. Like, you're going to blow him up, but I find that you're waiting for the cooldown of the Stat Spec quite a bit, because the fact that you can't reset it with the Time Warp kind of feels a little bad. So it is what it is, but it is a little bit interesting. Now I got a 352 here with it, which is probably not like the best, and it's not insane. I'm not on task for Slayer or anything, so like it's not terrible. I'm happy with it, but it doesn't feel quite as good as like Necromancy, for example. Necromancy flows really nicely here. You do the first phase without Living Death, and then every other phase you can Living Death it, and you also take way less damage with Necromancy too. Magic here, you get shredded because you're using Elite Tectonic and Maniacal. You get destroyed health wise on the last phase. It's crazy. Now actually it went quite decently. It was smoother for the final phase for sure, because of the fact that you can kill the clones so quick. So you can use your devotion, kill the clones, which then extends the devotion, and then get around like killing the other two very quickly and use devotion again to your advantage. However, I still would probably recommend like Necromancy is crazy good here. I believe range is even better, but magic still feels really nice. And again, I may have to try and figure out a different rotation to make this work better. Because of how fast you phase when you actually use the stat spec here, you end up not having it for the next time warp, and so you're using your bleeds and stuff. Like, I don't know, it was strange. This will take a little bit more practice and time probably for me to figure out a better rotation, but I'm happy with a 352 at Kerapac in hard mode with magic. Honestly, I think it's fine. I think it's all good. Not on task and stuff. I can't really complain. Let me know what you guys think though. Is this what's a good time for Kerapac hard mode solo with best in slot magic gear, not on task? Is it good? Is it bad? I don't freaking know. But it felt nice to use at least, but I do think Necromancy is probably better for Kerapac in general. So my overall thoughts on magic now that the buffs have been here and I've done it for a while. Well, magic seems back. I have had a blast with it. I'm so tired now. It's 12:15. But basically, magic feels really good to use. The damage is insane, and we're getting more buffs again from a mascot as well, which is going to be crazy. Like, if we're getting stronger, magic could beat range at some point in terms of damage, and that would be great in my opinion. There's a few things that I would love to see changed and like not changed but like improved on, like temporal anomaly, but I'll make a separate video on that too. But it also seems a little bit strange to me that we're just camping the staff, not using the dual wield. So part of me also hopes that some sort of optimal meta comes out where you would like juggle the dual wields and the staff, whether it's 4-ticking or whether it's like taking advantage of the extra adrenaline you get from the dual wields or the extra bonus damage. I don't know. But I'm sure the pros will figure all that out, and I'll just sort of, you know, follow along when that happens. But right now, for the average person, just camp the staff, use the dual wields as a spec. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. It feels good. I've had a lot of fun, and it's been a while since I've done 8 hours of PVM, and I'm looking forward to doing more tomorrow, even though I need to be testing more stuff for different videos tomorrow anyway. So I guess I won't even be able to do that, but it is what it is. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and like share any tips and stuff that you've learned. If there's any corrections in this video, then feel free to correct me. It's fine. I'm aware that it's day one. It's day one. I just PVM'd for a while. These are my first impressions. There's a good chance that there's some information that could be wrong, so take everything with a little bit of a grain of salt. Expect it to change and whatnot. Yeah, I'm gonna edit this video and get to sleep because it's 12:15. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a sub if you are new around here, and I appreciate it. Bye.